shop with us for all your home furniture and decor needs. We always have a large selection of living room, dining, bedroom furniture. We also carry fantastic accent pieces, accessories, baby furniture, and mattresses. We love helping our customers, so come see us at Brantley Furniture in Princeton. Keep up with us on Facebook for weekly updates.
$10. It doesn't go as far as it used to, but today it does. That's because our loyal listeners' Big Deal Store is having a $10 sale. Whether you've got 2 5s, 10 1s, or a $10 bill, you are in business. Our $10 sale is only good for today. So hurry over to our loyal listener Big Deal Store and tell your friends. Find out how far your $10 will go right now. Check out our $10 sale from your mobile device. Just go to WPKYonline.com.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Jeff Russo, attorney at law. You've been listening to your WPKY News Edge. Find news 24 hours a day at WPKYonline.com.
1580, 103.3, WPKY 7. Coming up on 7:59, Tess.
It is gorgeous. Look at the sky. I mean, there's not even any clouds out there. I mean, it's beautiful.
All the way up to a high of 44 today.
Feels like a heat wave. Go get a suntan.
Currently, where are we? Show me that mezzanette side. Show me where we at. I think we were at 28 a minute ago.
Well, it's not too bad, really. No. I mean, this is like the high. It didn't even get this warm.
No, not yet.
2 days ago.
No.
And I looked it up in Fairbanks. We were like within 2 degrees of Fairbanks, Alaska.
29 right
It was
now,
6 there and 8 here when I checked it. I was like, there's something really wrong with that. But yeah, it's 28, almost 29. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Not too bad either. I mean, you're talking about 40s over the weekend. I mean, that's pretty comfortable to do most
probably
things.
Hit 50 on Sunday.
It's getting close. Getting close.
Hey, we got a great sideline report coming up with Todd Griffin. Coach Mack is here, and Coach Daniel Cortner. Mm-hmm. Coach Mack will be wrapping up the football season.
Putting down the smack.
Yeah, there you go. Boy, he did it back in the day, too, I'm telling you. To watch this man on the football field was fun. So
just don't turn on his mic. I know
he can do it. But and then Coach Cortner's going to be here with Todd to wrap up the volleyball season. And
I will tell you, those ladies did good this year. Yeah. Bless their hearts. I mean, they really. They were fierce. They did awesome. They were winning all over the place. And I thought it was fun to listen to them on the radio. I really did. I enjoyed that this year. So
no doubt.
Just going to have to change gears.
Stick around for the Sideline Report. That's coming up here in just a few minutes right after our community news update.
All right. Stick around. 1580, 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Carmen Roberts. The first public impeachment hearing shows Democrats and Republicans disagree on whether President Trump committed impeachable offenses. Chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Democrat Adam Schiff, on the first 2 witnesses.
I thought their testimony very powerful. Obviously, these are 2 very credible witnesses who speak from the heart and who have the greatest dedication not only to the United States, but the deepest care for Ukraine.
Republicans pushing to hear from one person who's not on the witness list.
I think what should happen is the whistleblower should testify. All we asked for today with our motion was to depose the whistleblower.
GOP Congressman Jim Jordan hearings continue Friday. And a federal appeals court in D.C. blocks President Trump's attempt to keep his financial records from Congress. The fight will likely end up in the Supreme Court. America's listening to Fox News.
W277CK Princeton. Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Nice sunny day today. We feel like a heat wave out there, high near 44. Mostly cloudy tonight, a low down to 26. Cloudy through mid-morning tomorrow, then gradually clearing, a high near 39. And sunshine for Saturday, a high 46. Your Weather Edge Futurecast says partly sunny Sunday, high 49. Monday and Tuesday looking to be in the 50s under partly sunny skies. Again for today, sunshine, a high 44. 29 at WPKY.
This weather update brought to you by the Cat's Den, where everyone knows your name. Great food at great prices. Come see us. 4000 Farmersville Road, Princeton.
Time to take a look at community news here on 1580 103.3 WPKY. This morning's community news is brought to you by Community Medical Clinic.
We'll get in the holiday spirit by visiting Princeton's Adsmore House and Garden Museum. There's nothing like all the treasured period trimmings to get you in the spirit. Come on out and see Adsmore set up for baby Catherine's very first Christmas in 1901. The special seasonal decor will be on display through December 28th every Tuesday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Hey, join your friends for Craft Night at George County Public Library in Princeton. Craft Night meets the second Thursday of the month, and guess what? That's today. Cost is $5. Give the library a call to register 365-2884.
Well, join the United Methodist Women in supporting local missions and get your Christmas shopping done at the same time. The Mary Market Christmas Bazaar will be held this Saturday, November 16th from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. at Edible United Methodist Church. Now, lunch is going to be served from 10:30 until 1:30 for only $7. For more information, you can give them a call at 270-206-0264.
Join Harper House in supporting Alyssa Beavers by enjoying Pasta with a Purpose. That's coming up this Sunday, November 17th, 12:30 to 3. The benefit dinner will include spaghetti, salad, and bread, and with raffle tickets, T-shirts, and bracelets available as well. Adult and children's tickets are available.
Well, the City of Princeton's fall leaf pickup will begin on Monday, November 18th. All leaves, bagged or loose, will be picked up. Now, all leaves should be out by the 18th to ensure pickup. Please place leaves curbside for pickup and no leaves in the ditches, streets, or the sidewalks.
Kick off the holiday season right with the Lyon County Master Gardener's annual Design Your Own Wreath event. The holiday fun all starts at the Lee S. Jones Park Convention Center in Eddyville, Thursday, December 5th from 10 to noon. Class size is limited and payment is due at registration. Bring your own garden gloves, pruners, personal items for decoration. They'll do the rest. Participants are asked to bring a canned food donation for their food bank. Tickets are $20 for live wreath and swag, and early bird registration only $18 by November the 18th. For information and tickets, call the Lyon County UK Extension Office, 270-388-2341, or visit the office on Main Street in Eddyville.
Well, Morgan's and Lakeland's Funeral Homes will host the third annual Holiday Service of Remembrance, and that'll be on Thursday, November 21st at 6 p.m. at Ogden Memorial United Methodist Church of Princeton. Now, there will be local talent. Sean and Laura Fagan will be performing. Grief counselor Pat Pitchford Page will be sharing a hope-filled message, and a picture slideshow is going to be presented. The Remembrance Service is open to all families in our area who have experienced a loss at any time. Now, that's no matter where the service was held. There is no admission, on all attendees receive a special gift. To learn more, please visit morgansfuneralhome.com or lakelandchapel.com.
Get spruced up with quality mulch from Bashir Sawmill on Dawson Road in Princeton. We all know that buying mulch by the truckload saves money, and it's only $25 per load for dark natural mulch at Bashir Sawmill on Dawson Road, 1/2 mile past City County Park. Bashir Sawmill also buys standing timber and timberland. Give them a call today, 270-365-2330. That's Bashir Sawmill, family owned and operated in Princeton for over 50 years.
The holidays, time to enjoy with those you love. If you're thinking about new flooring in your home before the holidays, now's the time to stop in at Perry's Floors and More and let them help you find the perfect flooring that will not only add warmth and style to any room in your home, but also flooring that will stand up to the wear and spills of everyday life. Whichever floor you choose will be backed by reputable manufacturers and installed with expert care. See Bill and Lucy at Perry's Floors and More, 127 West Market, Princeton. Call 270-365-9869.
Don't be left out in the cold this winter. Fortner Gas is ready to keep you warm. Fortner Gas is available 24/7 and will always take care of their customers when other companies leave people in the cold. Just contact Fortner Gas and schedule a propane delivery to your home or business. They want your business and will prove that to you. You can count on Fortner Gas in Princeton to keep you warm and toasty this winter. Now, doesn't that sound good? Fortner Gas, since 1951.
There are some surefire things you get when you deal with Armory Gun Shop in Princeton. Quality, knowledge, honesty. Take your firearm experience to the next level and see how the new ownership at Armory Gun Shop is making a difference for the local gun owner. Located on North Harrison Street with hours of operation listed on the Armory Gun Shop Facebook page. Their mission is to provide quality products at fair prices with knowledge you can trust.
If this community is as important to you as it is to us, we invite you to join us weekdays for our WPKY local newscast at 6:30, 7:30, noon, and 5. 20 newscasts a week means we're committed to keeping you informed on local events. You can also find news when you want it at WPKYonline.com. Thanks for listening to 1580 103.3 WPKY. It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton. Live in the studio with us this morning, we've got Caldwell County football coach Waynee McGowan and Caldwell County volleyball coach Daniel Cortner. And guys, thanks for braving the cold weather and coming in to be with us today.
Yeah, thank you, Todd. Appreciate it.
Daniel, you've been to the state volleyball tournament recently. How were things up there?
It was a pretty busy weekend. A lot of ball played in 3 days. Got to see the first 3 rounds. Actually, I didn't get to stay for Sunday for the finals, but a lot of good competition up there for the first Friday day, and then Saturday night was some of the better matches.
And a big shock that Louisville Assumption won the state championship again.
It may have shocked some, not too much. I think they've won 52% of the state titles that Kentucky's held. So.
Well, I know a lot of people say that they have people on their bench that would win regions elsewhere.
Yeah, they had a senior that started the first round game. I don't think they warmed up half the team Friday when they were playing Breathitt County. So it's just a different level, just a different world.
And Waynee, it feels weird not getting ready for a football game this week.
Exactly, it sure does. You go through that grind from all summer, June and July, and grinding it out, and it just comes to a halt. Unfortunately, and it is a different week this week. Monday we came in and put stuff up, and did that dreaded day of turning things in, but different week this week for sure.
When you look back, though, at an 8-3 season and everything that happened all year, as I mentioned, I thought you guys did a marvelous job as coaches, as players. You had 6 seniors, and those guys were called on to lead and really lead through a difficult time.
They were, and, can't say enough about the coaching staff. And I think I mentioned probably earlier in the year how, there's 3 of us who have 20-plus years of experience on that staff, and then been together for X amount of years, and we know each other pretty well, and it was just a good deal that we were able to coach this year and take this team to an 8-3 record, and they're again the seniors on this team, few in numbers, but a lot of heart, a lot of leadership.
Well, and looking back before the season, I don't think a lot of people would have seen 8 wins this year. Some people may have thought 5-5, 6-4, somewhere in there, because it was a bit of a rebuilding year or a retooling year. At least that's what we thought going into the season.
Exactly. It's no secret we lost 20-something kids and tons of experience left with those kids. You had 3-year starters in some of those kids, maybe 4-year starters in some of those kids. But there again, it was a retooling, retweaking, or whatever you want to call it, and we were able to put some guys in some positions and have a successful year this year.
But, you guys had so much success early that by the end of the season, people were expecting you to win. They were picking you to beat Murray, and
right.
It's always disappointing when that last loss comes around, whenever it is. But again, by winning so many games, everybody kind of had turned the page, and no longer were you this rebuilding team that was hoping to have a winning record.
Right.
All of a sudden, you guys were looking at, hey, if we can get by Murray, maybe we can go challenge Mayfield.
Exactly, and that's what we believe in, and that's what we do. We expect to be a good football team. We always want to put a good product on the field, I guess you had to make. I guess we made believers out of several people, I would say, considering what we were returning this year. But these kids, they went and play. They went and play ball, play some good ball this year, and the result was 8-3 season, and a really, really fun season. It was really fun. It really was, and it was enjoyable.
We're talking this morning with Caldwell football coach Waynee McGowan and Caldwell volleyball coach Daniel Cortner. Stay with us. A lot more to come as we continue here on the Sideline Report. Thanks for listening on 1580, 103.3, and WPKYonline.com.
You're listening to the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. The Sideline Report is brought to you in part by ABC Finance, Bashir Sawmill, U-Ride, and Barkley Hudson State Farm.
It won't be long until families and friends will gather across America to celebrate the holiday season.
It's a sad fact that 1 in 8 Americans lack the access of adequate amounts of nutritious food, and during the holiday season, the need is greater than ever.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location.
At ABC Finance, we believe no one should go hungry this holiday season, and we hope you agree.
Our annual food drive is underway. Drop off non-perishable food items to any ABC Finance location closest to you, and you may win cash.
For every item donated, we will enter your name, and each ABC Finance location will draw 4 $50 winners.
At ABC Finance, we want to make a difference this holiday season.
Learn more. Visit abcfinanceonline.com and be sure to like our Facebook page for lots of financial tips and community info.
Hey guys, it's Molly with the Tin Roof. Did you know we now have 2 locations? That's right, you can now shop your favorite gift shop, not only in Princeton, but now in Cadiz too. Both stores are crammed full of home decor, apparel and accessories, gifts for all ages and occasions, and of course, all the fun. Free gift wrapping on every single purchase every day. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for all the deets from your very favorite store, Tin Roof, where fun and style meet.
Big deals. Have you been to Big Deal Store yet? Go to WPKYonline.com and click on Loyal Listener Big Deals. The other day, I redeemed a gift certificate on my smartphone. It was so easy. Thanks to Loyal Listener Big Deals, I found new places to eat, have fun, take the family out, and get my car fixed. With Loyal Listener Big Deals, you can save money and try new businesses. Go to WPKYonline.com. But you better hurry. You never know how long each deal will last.
We are back on the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Caldwell County football coach Waynee McGowan and Caldwell County volleyball coach Daniel Cortner in the studio with us. And Daniel, we were talking about the state tournament, and Assumption just has a stranglehold on that thing, and I'm not sure if anybody's ever going to try to catch that program as far as the players they put out. But what can be done with the state tournament? And you're the KVCA president. What kind of suggestions would you have to maybe jazz up the state tournament a little bit?
It's not just the state tournament. It's also the regional tournaments. If you go back and you look at the 32 teams that had a chance at going to Louisville, it's nothing but big schools or privates. And there's such a size difference. There's such a depth. Volleyball's it takes, a lot higher athlete to go, and one weakness in the sport can be exploited. With numbers come, fewer weaknesses in that. So you would love to see some type of classification, 800-900 kids, up and down, somewhere along that. Go ahead and separate the private and public. But KHSAA has zero concern about that. They have zero wants to do that. They still think the movie Hoosiers is going to come through and fill, somebody making a Cinderella run.
Well, if it were 1935, that might happen.
Maybe. But they've said that. There's been some quotes come from KHSAA that the reason the private schools in the Louisville area have all the success they do is because they spend more money than we do. We don't have that. We don't have that ability. I talked with a coach that said they fundraised $35,000 last year and spent every dime of it, and
wow.
He said, and that got us one win in the state tournament.
Well, and when you look at the big schools like the Assumptions and the other private schools, they have the money. And, they actually had the feeder programs, the travel programs that kind of helped build their program that other people never had because a lot of places didn't have volleyball before 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Right, and they've got, when you're up there and you're playing that level of competition, you're going to get better. There's just not as much solid competition across the state for everybody to have that. Their club scene, I talked to one of the club coaches, said he played 75 games last year from January to June. So that's 2 seasons. You're only allowed 35 in high school, and he played 75 in the off season.
Oh, wow.
So high school is kind of a vacation for them anymore.
It's just interesting. You look at the final KVCA rankings that came out. Of course, Henderson County
number 1 in the second region. You guys and UHA were number 2, and really felt like either Caldwell County or UHA would win the region this year. But turned out Henderson just got on the roll at the right time.
Well, I'd been telling you Henderson had not played their best game all year. Every time I'd seen them or heard or talked with them, I knew they hadn't played their best game. Springer had always been in Hannah Watkins' shadow, and her and I actually got a little chance to laugh about it. She'd always been in a shadow until somewhere mid-second set she came alive, and good players wait for those kind of opportunities.
Looking ahead to next season, though, with you only losing 2 seniors, I think a lot of people will be looking at Caldwell County as one of the top teams in the region next season.
Only is a hard word because they were both very, very important. Savannah Tay's running our offense up front. She's going to graduate as the all-time leading set assists with over 2,200 set assists. That's pretty high rank right there, running the offense. Addie Perkins has been one of the greatest role players you could ever turn around and ask for, come in and play in defense. And it's such a hard game to get into the rhythm immediately, and to turn and have her to come in and play defense for us is going to be a big hole to fill.
And one thing you guys never really talked about, and we haven't mentioned a whole lot, when you guys beat UHA in the All-A Classic, you guys were still pretty healthy at that point. Mm-hmm. By the time you guys got to the end of the season, you had some bumps and bruises you were trying to deal with.
Yeah, I looked up when I went to watch UHA play at the end of the season. It almost looked like an episode of MASH. They were all walking around, and I thought, man, they're beat up worse than I am. They were pulling ace bandages and ice packs and stuff over. So it's a long haul of a season, and depth has some things to do with that. So, kind of at the end of the season, you're just trying to patch together what you can, and that's when their will comes in. That's when their heart and their fight comes in. And the 2 or 3 that we will go over on that regional championship, region semis night, I couldn't ask for a better fight out of Abby and Riley that night. They left way more than everything on the floor, that's for sure.
And that's about all you can do. I mean, you go over there and you fight, and you take the first 2 sets from Henderson County, and it looks like, hey, we're almost there, and then Henderson gets on a roll. And we always talk about momentum in volleyball being such a big thing, and it seemed like once Henderson got it, they just wouldn't give it up.
Well, they kind of made a few adjustments with their block, and we're such a power team. We're such a I want to hit it as hard as I can every single time, and we just don't have that finesse level yet. And when they went to blocking, somewhere mid-third set, we kind of stunned for a second, and you don't have very many seconds in volleyball before the other team goes. You can look at, I think they went on a 9-point run at one point, and that's a third of the match.
Yeah. And Waynee, talking about keeping people healthy, you guys were pretty fortunate in that area this year too.
Yeah, we were absolutely blessed on that part. I think we had just one kid there with the knee, and he missed considerable time, but all in all, we were really healthy considering we only had 46 kids on the roster this year. And, granted, you're not going to use all 46 of those kids. So the kids who played were healthy, and we were really fortunate.
But even if you go back to that Christian County game, that was a special night at Tiger Stadium, and you get the 2 big returns to pull that one out. And then you play Apollo, and that's a really big school coming in. I mean, just you go back and look at the wins over the season, and Crittenden County's had a great year. You guys went down there and laid one on them pretty good.
Yeah, we were playing with a lot of emotion. There's no doubt, and there again within that emotion, those kids figured out that we can win some ball games. We'd be successful, and they started believing in each other and in the system, and then they bought in, and we were able to turn out a good year.
You look at the 3 losses. It's Mayfield, Hopkinsville, Murray. All of those teams, all 3 of them are ranked.
Yeah.
I mean, those are good teams.
Yeah, it's just not like, you just got beat by, whatever teams, but great programs historically, and they're all still in the playoffs. They're still alive in the playoffs, and ranked teams, like you said. So it's, we didn't go out and just get beat by anybody.
If you look ahead to next season, it looks to me like Mayfield has a pretty strong senior class that they're going to lose this year. I didn't see a lot of juniors on their roster, so they may end up being a younger team next year. Mayfield's always going to be good,
right?
But with what you have coming back, which is a pretty large junior class, and then you've got some younger kids that might help you next year too. So maybe looking ahead to next year, like I said, we kind of thought this was a filler year between and it ended up being a really great season. you look ahead, I mean, it's hard not to get your hopes up pretty high next year, too.
Exactly. And there again, as long as we stay healthy, we ought to field a pretty good team again next year. It's just no secret that we have some experienced guys going to return next year. Tons of juniors and a few sophomores trickled in there. And, and our middle school program's been pretty strong. That's why we're successful, on the high school level. Those kids, learn how to win and, learn how to play together and buy in. And so, there are some classes coming up to fill in and be a big part of it.
Looking ahead to next season again, we go to Owensboro Apollo for the first time, and that'll be my first time ever going to Apollo, so that's kind of rare.
Yeah, never been there myself, and also I'm not real sure, but I think I saw or read something that those guys may have a turf field.
Just got it in this year.
So we'll get a chance to play on a turf field, and so we might pull the white pants out next year.
Oh, wow.
Since it's turf, so. But it'd be interesting to go up there, and those guys ended up playing some pretty good ball throughout late part of the year. It seemed like they started scoring a lot of points. Apollo did, and it'll be a great challenge there again, and we'll look forward to going up there.
Again, you look back at some of those games though, and sometimes I think when you win easy, you kind of dismiss the other team, but Crittenden County's had an outstanding season. Apollo had a good year.
Yeah.
Christian County had a tough year for them. They got put over in that other district with the Bowling Green schools, and that didn't do them any favors. But they had some athletes, and like Daniel mentioned earlier, when you're a great big school, a Christian County team, they were 0-10 or 0-11 or whatever, but they still have some kids who can play. I mean, when you're Caldwell County matching up with Christian County, that's still a good win for you.
It is. It doesn't. Depending on how they are, you just never. You kind of have an idea of the big schools. Tons of athletes all the time. You just have more to choose from, and we kind of talked about that earlier with, the volleyball stuff as well, and. Always have athletes. Always have big kids. They're always going to have those types of kids. And, anytime we can, take our 2A guys and go play the 5s and 6As and win or be successful or what have you. And it's always a feather in our cap to be able to do that.
But I would rather play those schools. And even if you end up with a loss, I think the Hopkinsville game helped you guys this year, even though that was a loss over there.
It was, and they exposed us to some things we need to work on and correct and get better in, and that's why when Coach Barnes started toughening up this schedule a few years ago, that was the whole reason behind it. We had to toughen this thing up, get our kids going against teams who are bigger and faster and more athletic. Do that on purpose in order to get better, and that's the only way you get better.
That Reese Jesse kid, though, is coming back.
How about that? I tell you what, that kid's something else now.
I think that's a Southeastern Conference receiver that's going to be a senior next year at Hopkinsville.
Yeah, I agree. And kid probably playing anywhere in the country, and only going to get better. And, he really had a great year and still having a great year.
Yeah, maybe we should just tackle him when they snap the ball and take our chances.
Right. We'll take a penalty every time.
You talk about those early season games. It's a big win because, like Christian County, your athletes are going to win you games early in the season. And if you go position by position on athleticism, that's what's going to win you. You don't have time for your game plan to really set in effect yet. You're still trying to get in a scheme. So,
right.
That's what, on the outside looking in, that's what gives you your big credit for beating a team like Christian County early in the year. So that just shows you discipline all the way across.
Well, both of you guys played football and a lot of sports, and we lost Coach Barnes, 6 days before the regular season kicked off. How difficult is it as a player to kind of wrap your head around that, but also realize we got a game coming up?
Yeah, I just couldn't, I can't imagine what was going through those kids' minds. We were all crushed and hurt. But they're young men, and showed some resiliency this year. In the way they played, and bounced back and kept their composure through things, because it could have been totally the opposite. This year could have been total opposite of how it did turn out. But I think it's just a testament to Coach Barnes. Been around these kids, ever since they were little kids, and they loved him, and as well as been a great mentor to us coaches. And so a lot of lessons learned from him, and I just feel like this is one remarkable year considering. And then, also throw in that we're missing Avery and De'Aaron out of this bunch. So, this senior bunch and this program and community has gone through quite a bit in the last 4 or 5 football seasons.
Yeah, I said all season there was too much space on the sideline because you were looking for Coach Barnes, De'Aaron, Avery, Ralph Sharp. We lost him.
Ralph too, yeah.
So a lot of people that you used to just bump into all the time,
I know
now they're not there. And
I know it. It's strange. It was really, really strange. Just with Coach Barnes, way he carried on and cut up and, film room meetings in the coach's office. You just miss all that stuff. You miss him in the building. He's dearly missed in that high school building up there every day. He just had a little group of kids that just gravitated toward him all the time. And he was so good with kids up there in that school. And if a kid was sitting by himself or whatever, he'd go talk to him, give him a piece of chewing gum. Of course, the kids knew he had chewing gum all the time, so they would hit him hard on his chewing gum, and he'd come a day or two later and asking us for chewing gum. Like, well, you kids got him pretty good this week. He's out of chewing gum. But just little things like that, and that's pretty much tells you the story of Coach Barnes.
Yeah, and I think Coach Barnes would really have loved this football team the way they got after it.
I think so, and I probably made mention of that throughout the season. We had some tough games. We had some games that we had to come back from and pull them out and just continue to fight throughout any and all the games. I thought effort-wise this year it was always upbeat, and our intensity was there, and I think he would have really enjoyed it.
And it seemed like the focus was there all year. And when I was looking at the stats the other day, and, to me this seems like an amazing stat, and you guys can talk about it a little bit, but did you know that all season we played 11 games, Caldwell County lost 1 fumble all year?
Oh, wow. 1 fumble. Yeah, that's really good. And I can't even remember when the fumble was.
No,
so that's good.
It was relatively early in the season.
Oh, wow.
Maybe Mayfield or Hopkinsville, one of those, but –
wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had 3 or 4 fumbles, which, over the course of a season, that's amazing because I've seen games, where one team will fumble it 4 or 5 times that game. So when you think about going through a whole season with 1 fumble, to me that's a pretty amazing stat.
That is.
There's a lot of teams that can't get it from the center to the quarterback without fumbling.
Yeah. So when I looked through that just shows, though, that the guys are focused.
Oh,
and, and De'Eric Hollowell had the ball in his hands a lot. Russ Bashir had the ball in his hands a lot. To not beat yourself, I mean, that's a big part of the game.
It is, and one fumble lost all season, 11 games, and I don't know how many passes Russ threw. I don't know how many times Derek ran it, and everybody else who caught it and ran with it. That's really good. That's really good.
And again, against good competition.
Exactly.
It's not like you guys were playing teams that you were beating 60-0 every week. I mean,
you're right.
There weren't a whole lot of easy games during the season.
It really wasn't. And some of the games that we may have been up on the scoreboard real high and this and whatever, but I just think of the Ballard game, how we went down there and it was just like we were in a different world.
Yeah.
We did make some plays and we played well at times, but and then you get into a Christian County game where the emotions are so high and you're just on point, and it just seems like every play is a ball game, and that's how it was at the first game at Murray High. It seemed like every play that was played that night was a game in itself, and so there again, just so much success this year, and we didn't go as far as we wanted to, but there again, the kids will be commended, and what a great year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Great year.
8-3, and Daniel, you guys had a great year too. Again, everybody wants to win one more game or get that regional championship, but it's tough. And we mentioned, the big school thing. It hits us in every sport. You're going to run into a Henderson or a Christian County or one of those teams. We've had good success against Madisonville, and Madisonville's a pretty big school, but just seems like it takes a break or two here or there to get past a Henderson or somebody like that.
It's not losing the Henderson match that's keeping me awake at night. It's how. It's that middle of the third set when you kind of see that train start sliding off the tracks. You almost somewhere in the fourth get that, well, here we go again. Let's clean this up and go to the fifth. And that pretty well just is going to be another level of growth. These junior class going into seniors, they've been doing it since they were freshmen. So every year now they're getting a little bit tougher, a little bit stronger mentally, physically. So that's what we're going to look into banking in the off season.
You can toughen up the schedule, but there's no real way to prepare for the regional tournament at the end of the year. I mean, unless you had kids that played in it before, I mean, that's about the only way you can have some kind of knowledge of. It's just a different time. The playoffs are different.
Right. And you try to get Massac County, you try to get Apollo, you try to get, some of those last Thursday night games at home this season were against good crowd following teams that would bring a good high-level game to us. And we try to build for that moment. But I can go up and down the roster and tell them all that game that propelled them into, okay, I got my one bad game behind me. I'm now ready for varsity level competition. And every year there's a player or two that the other coaches will just flat go at. You probably got a cornerback or a side of the line that you'll run after, and it's no different on mine, whether it's serving at them or hitting at them. And when that player has that game, it's life-changing for them. They get that confidence, they get that ability, and they go.
We're talking this morning with Caldwell football coach Waynee McGowan and Caldwell volleyball coach Daniel Cortner. Need to get to another break here on the Sideline Report, but we'll be back with more right after this.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Sunshine today, a high near 44, mostly cloudy overnight tonight, a low down to 26. Tomorrow, becoming sunny, a high 39 as those clouds start us out early in the morning. Clear tomorrow night, low down to 22, and the weekend looking great. Saturday, sunny, a high 47. Sunday, partly sunny, a high near 50. Again for today, sunshine, a high 44.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Big John's Barbecue.
Some people just have a knack for being there when you need them the most, like your third grade classmate who sticks up for you against that bullet, the neighbor who gives you the jump start, and the friend who chases away that flock of geese at your outdoor wedding. Your State Farm agent has your back too, through good times and the not so good. And who's got your agent's back? State Farm, the company people have trusted for more than 90 years. We're here to help life go right. Call State Farm agent Barkley Hudson at 270-365-7521.
We continue with the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Want to tell you about Dave's Deal of the Week at U-Ride in Princeton. This week it's a 2010 Dodge Caravan, silver in color. See Dave for details at U-Ride in Princeton. That's U-Ride, 310 Marion Road, Princeton. Telephone 270-365-3215. Ask about Dave's Deal of the Week, and this week a 2010 Dodge Caravan. We do continue on the Sideline Report. Got Waynee McGowan and Daniel Cortner in with us, and kind of wrapping up the fall sports schedule. Next week, hope to have the basketball coaches in here and look forward a little bit. But, again, just great seasons for you guys. And, Waynee, what is the off-season plan for you guys, and what do you guys need to do looking ahead to next season?
Right off the bat, definitely rest up a little bit. It's been a 6 or 7 month grind. And, the kids will be away. We'll be away from each other a little bit, which is a little odd because we've been with them so much. First of the year, we'll definitely get back in the weight room, get our 3 or 4 days a week in of working out and doing our agility stuff and running. And that's always tough. The off-season is always tough. You have to be dedicated. You have to sacrifice. And the more and more we have kids come out and do that and buy into that, the more successful we will be. And off-season is always huge for you. You kind of find out some character about your kids and see who you can depend on and count on. So it tells a lot, those 3 or 4 months, January through April or so, when you just all you're doing is lifting and running, and it's you have to be pretty mentally tough. Although you're not going through an actual season, but you still have to be mentally tough to come in there for, we don't keep them all day, about an hour and we're done. But it's pretty high intensity, and we get in and get our work done and get out.
Well, football is a little different than volleyball, I would think, because volleyball you kind of have your club teams that you keep playing. Football, you don't really have that as much. I guess you've got some 7-on-7 stuff that maybe some kids might play, and then you guys will do some stuff over the summer, but it's a little different off-season plan.
Yeah, and with the rule now, with the 7-on-7, we can only do it a certain time. We can't do any in June anymore like we used 2 years ago. We can go against ourselves all day in June, but I remember going to they call them the passing leagues or whatever, and you'd go a couple days a week and go somewhere and play, or 3 teams may come here and we'd play, and but that's out, and that's been out for a few years now. And as far as that type of stuff, with other sports you can get on your travel teams and things like that, but unfortunately with football you don't have an opportunity to do that. But it's just us having to be with ourselves and working out and just building your team. And a lot of things are built in the off season. They're again trust and character.
Daniel, what do you guys do during the off season? I'm guessing volleyball games never end for you.
We're already gearing up for tryouts Saturday. The next 2 Saturdays, they'll be over in Hopkinsville at the Sportsplex with Vapor, and all of that information's online on our Facebook page with VAPR, and we'll kind of get together with the age groups, kind of get the kids back into fundamental areas that they need to be in. You look at a varsity team, you got a freshman trying to get time on a varsity, you kind of skip some of the fundamentals, and that's what club gets you back into. You're back around 14-year-olds and things of that level. So we'll kind of get that geared up, and then we'll take off till about Christmas and kind of enjoy the holidays, let the kids go be kids, and go from there. So we'll get geared up for club ball right around 1st of January and play till spring break. So,
what does your high school team need to work on to get better next year and to try to take down this Henderson County run that I think is 5 years in the making now?
I think the most used word of 2019 was diversified. We've got to be able to not only spread the ball out, spread where we hit, but spread what shot you make. You can't just go hard hit. You've got to keep the defense moved around. You've got to keep them, guessing and figuring out, and just find the open floor. So I think if we can find a second or third shot option coming into this coming fall, then I feel a lot more comfortable. We're going to look at maybe getting into more of a 5-1 offense with Kendall Prowl running it. She has been the second setter. Her and Savannah have split time on the offense, so going to 1 is going to be a much different role. She's going to have to run the full offense, and know all the hitters at all the time. So she's got a important spring coming ahead in Kendall, so we'll see how that goes.
How is your schedule looking for next year? Have you put a lot of plans into that yet?
We've looked at some tournaments. I'm still pretty confident we'll be a single A school again, so trying to keep that open and all of that. So we're looking at making another run up at hopefully Richmond. Hopefully it's up there again. So we've got to allow those 9 games out of our 35. We're going to throw the tournament back over in Hopkinsville, so there's another 5. And then so much of it is just reciprocal dates. Your district dates are planned out for you. So I've gotten lucky over the last couple of years, and I've gotten the programs that I want to play, just getting them all back on the dates. We will have to flip-flop our home and away. So this year, next year it's set up to where all our home games will be on Tuesdays with travel nights on Thursdays. So I still think that worked out extremely well. We have 1 Tuesday night home game, and that was a pickup when Ballard came and played us. But the girls loved it. Hey, Tuesdays we travel, Thursdays we're home, and
it's easy to keep up with for sure.
It was nice, and it was. I think it made a little bit difference in the student section as well. That Tuesday nights it seemed to have a lot of soccer games on that, and then Thursday nights they could come to volleyball, and the kid didn't have to decide which one do I want to go to. So some sports. We can kind of split up, so we can't go against Friday nights.
Yeah,
not enough parking.
Yeah,
not enough parking.
Yeah, that would make it pretty tight up there to get everybody in.
We go to some of our tournaments, and they are Friday nights, Saturday nights, and in the description to the tournament, it tells you, at Owensboro Senior, they tell you where to park. We got a home football game. You're going to want to park across the street. They kind of warn you a couple of days in advance on how to get there.
You mentioned the All-A Classic, and that was my next question is, are we certain yet that we're going to be in the All-A Classic again next year? And
I think if the numbers we think they use are what they use, then yes, we should be with enough of. There's a couple of new schools started up that have applied for KHSAA sanctions. I think we'll still be helped by Scott County splitting with Great Crossings and kind of adding a few more schools up above us. But some years we think they use 8th graders through juniors, and some years we're not sure what grades. Some years we think they take the census in the spring. I think it just kind of depends on who they want in the tournament.
Well, and I think sometimes that you're kind of at the mercy of somebody else passing on a chance to play in the All-A Classic, and it really makes it tough when you're right there on that borderline because again, you never know for sure, and you've had that hit you at least once where you had your schedule set, right, and then had to scramble and fix some things because the All-A wasn't there.
And it's not just my schedule; it's the fact that we got the tournament scheduled on the region scheduled on a certain night of the week or something along those lines. One year we were supposed to host it when we got told we were too big and not in it, so they had to find a new site and a new night and all that stuff. So there's several ripples to it, which. Shameless plug. I wish they would just go ahead and class it to begin with, and we wouldn't have to worry about that.
Well, we could get into that, but I think we've all
I think we beat that horse.
Yeah, it's,
I went over. Right, I was pretty well over J.C. Cantrell Gym for the last 3 days trying to figure out who wants this and who doesn't, and how can we fix it. You go on and look. The Louisville schools, true, they don't get. There's never been a public school play for the region finals. So they've never even had a shot.
Yeah. Wow.
And if you go and look, those kids have never won a postseason award. Those kids have never made an all-region team kind of concept and things like that. So not only are you missing out on the team, but you're missing out on some of the top players in the state that never get out of their district.
But even if you went to classes, you still got Assumption's going to dominate wherever you put them.
Yeah.
They could be in their own class. It's kind of like football with St. X and Trinity.
Yeah.
Those schools are going to dominate whatever class you put them in.
Well,
But what's the fix?
I asked Mercy's assistant. I asked her what her thought on the matter was, and she pointed out to the floor to Assumption, and she said, it doesn't matter where you put us, we're going to be with them. Yeah. So then I asked one of the smaller private schools, what do you all think? And he said, well, we would like for it to be, we're a single A private school. We would not be with them. And, it kind of goes one way or the other. You hate to see teams that have a hot year that go up to state and get beat 25-5.
Well, even Henderson County's coach was quoted as saying that they knew that their postseason prize is winning the region because she knew they couldn't go to state, and most teams know they can't go to state and compete. You hope you get a good draw and you have a game or a match or two that you can win.
Right.
But you're going to run into an Assumption or a Mercy or one of those northern Kentucky schools eventually.
Right. She actually made the comment that Henderson gears their practices for a Friday game. That first Friday up there at state, we gear it, for that Friday. And I kind of laughed and smiled, and it hasn't always worked out. Last year she drew Letcher County. Henderson drew Letcher while they got up there, and they were able to beat them, and then they met Assumption. This year they had Greenwood, but Katie Howard from Greenwood's probably going to be the player of the year next year, and she's just, was a sophomore last year dominating the state tournament single-handedly. She is now she's a junior going into her senior year. She's a phenomenal player.
I'm sure, though, those that look at it from the other side will say, well, Assumption gives everybody else something to aspire to. That, they're kind of like the New York Yankees of, Kentucky volleyball.
Well, you're aspiring, and you hear teams say this, I just hope to make them call a timeout.
Yeah.
I want to pressure them enough that if that's your goal going into a game, there's something not right, but you still go and look. I was able to watch the Corbin and Mercy game, and Corbin, they didn't back down. They didn't have enough power to put balls away, but they were still running 40 foot off the court trying to play things. So you still have a pride to play for. You still have a name on the back of your jersey you're trying to represent. So it does give you something to fight, but you're right. Playing for the regional tournament, which I would love to win one. Caldwell hadn't won one since the format went to 3 out of 5. So we're still looking for that drought to end and to be able to just get up to Valley High.
But you can see the difference just in the sports we have right here, football and volleyball. In volleyball, you're hoping to win the region because that's your big prize. Waynee in football, I think Caldwell County usually goes into the season with at least one eye on playing for the state championship.
Yeah, and that's just there again. That was something the culture changed when Coach Barnes showed up. We went from not talking about competing in state championships to that's what we were talking about and when he showed up. And there again, if kids buy in and start believing that, then that's your goal. Then you're going to reach those goals. Eventually you're going to reach that goal.
But you at least have a fighting chance. Where if it was one big class and you knew you had to go through McCracken and Henderson and the Louisville schools, it's not really realistic at that point to try to the Lexington schools, Northern Kentucky teams. That would be a tough road.
It really would. It really would. And you're going to match up against some superior teams, just because they have the kids and they have the more athletes and the bigger kids and. Classification's good for football, and of course you hear the debate. 6 classes watered it down, and maybe we should go back to 4 or what have you. And coming from a guy who never had a chance to play in a playoff game, and had 2 pretty good seasons my junior and senior year. And, you was us, Fort Campbell, Mayfield in that district, and you was always number 3 where they only took 2. So. I would have loved to play in a playoff game. Yeah. You just never know. You go to the other side as a 3 seed or 4 seed even, or whatever, and at least give yourself another chance to play another football game. And you never know what'll happen in the playoffs. You could really get things going and really start playing well and get some breaks here and there. You just never know.
Well, at least one of those years you played, I'm still convinced we actually beat Mayfield and Fort Campbell those years.
They were tough. I'll tell you what. Have 3 teams in this district like that when I was playing, and
I think at one year there were 3 teams in the district, and they were all ranked in the top 4 in the state.
Yeah, we were at one point. Yeah, we were all up there, and so it just says a lot about this end of the state. We play some pretty good football down here, and this side of 65 normally gets a little shut out on some things. But you have to play well, and you have to represent yourself well, and have a good program, and then people will start to notice.
Talking this morning with Waynee McGowan, Caldwell County football coach, and Daniel Cortner, the Caldwell County volleyball coach. Got one more break we need to get to, but we'll continue after this on the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
You're listening to the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY. The Sideline Report is brought to you in part by ABC Finance, Bashir Sawmill, U-Ride, and Barkley Hudson State Farm. Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Sunshine today, a high near 44, mostly cloudy overnight tonight, a low down to 26. Tomorrow, becoming sunny, a high 39 as those clouds start us out early in the morning. Clear tomorrow night, a low down to 22, and the weekend looking great. Saturday, sunny, a high 47. Sunday, partly sunny, a high near 50. Again for today, sunshine, a high 44.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Penny Ryle District Health.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 homes in the U.S. are under-insulated? Sealing air leaks around your home and adding insulation are 2 of the most cost-effective ways to improve energy efficiency and comfort in your home. By tackling both projects, you can maximize your comfort and save up to 10% on your annual energy bills. Brought to you by your Princeton Electric Plant Board. Hometown Energy, working for you.
The holiday season will soon be upon us. While traveling in the Princeton and Kentucky Lakes area, have peace of mind knowing Riddle's 24-hour towing and lockout will be ready when you need us. Do you have AAA roadside coverage? AAA East Central has assigned Riddle's 24-hour towing to Caldwell and Lyon County as your primary AAA service provider. Our technicians are trained, uniformed, screened, and operate the most advanced equipment offered in the towing industry today. Call 270-350-6368.
We continue on the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY. Caldwell County football coach Waynee McGowan and Caldwell County volleyball coach Daniel Cortner in with us this morning. And Waynee, how was your first year as head coach? What'd you think of the big chair?
Yeah, a little different. Have to answer a lot of questions and The thing is that at the end of the day, every day, it's your responsibility. The program's in your hands, so to speak, and I didn't have a lot of restless nights. I didn't worry too much because I had, with the coaching staff, those guys are tremendous men, excellent coaches, and so I was, I guess I had the title, but a lot of decisions, we kind of made together, and so yeah, it wasn't that stressful. But there again, you did worry some, whether or not we're going to play well, and the kids' grades okay, little things like that, which are big things. But all in all, it was a good year, and just thank everyone who supported me and that continues to support this program.
Moving forward, and I think you probably talked about this with Bob Hayes some on Saturday Morning Quarterback, but what's the coaching situation looking ahead to next season?
Like I told Bob the other day, it's going to be a process of they'll post a job at some point. I don't know when that date is or time. I'm sure a committee will be formed, a search committee or a hiring committee. Applications will be accepted, and there again will be posted for X amount of days, and applications will be taken for X amount of days, I'm sure, and I guess they'll start going through applications and getting down to whoever they want to interview or interview everybody that applies. I'm not sure the process.
Coach Barnes always spoke about having the continuity on the coaching staff and how everybody had been there for 20 years, and as far as I'm concerned, all of you guys are qualified to be head coach.
I agree. A lot of experience. We've seen a lot as coaches, and yeah, there's capable people just right on our staff. Everybody's capable, and so we'll, I don't know what'll happen if we're all going to be together or what have you, but we work well together. I do know that, and we're just looking forward to the 2020 season.
Yeah, my vote would be to keep everybody together, whatever that's worth. So, but looking ahead to next year, again, I know it seems like a lot of talent's coming back. You do lose those seniors from this year, but can any of those kids go and play someplace in college?
You just never know. You just never know what some program's looking for in a kid, or if you need their need. College programs, there's always a need of some sort. Or they need a backup, something, or a running back or a quarterback. You just never know. But we had some kids turn in some good seasons. With De'Eric turned in a great season this year, and nobody's really contacted us or anything about him. But we may start asking around. I mean, we've been coaching forever. We know we have some networking stuff we can do, and that young man, can probably go and be on a program in a program somewhere.
Yeah.
What level? I'm not real sure, because there again, it's what are you looking for as a college team? Does he pass the eye test? And so many kids get looked over because I just look at a kid and say, doesn't fit the bill. But you don't know that kid's heart. You can't look inside him and see his heart and see how well he works in the off season, how dedicated that kid is until you get him there. And there again, programs won't give a kid a chance just because they won't pass that eye test. But sky's the limit for him. I think he could possibly, if someone shows some interest and if he's willing to be able to go to the next level. Kid works hard and does a great job what he does.
And Ben Holt had a great year on the defensive side. I think he had 116 tackles, something like that. So it seemed like he was in on every stop.
Oh, I know it. There again, there's another young man who, just progressed through this program, played a little offense at one point for us, and, has always been a defensive player for us. Played outside linebacker last year, actually, and we moved him to inside linebacker this year. And he was our defensive captain, hands down, and much like this guy when he played, he was a defensive captain for us when we played. He played safety for us, and he knew everything that was going on and made the calls and got everybody right. And that's what that's why Daniel was so important for us when he played. And just like Ben, just right in the middle of that defense, he got everybody lined up. It was one voice, and it was his voice that they heard. Nobody else talked, and and he did a tremendous job for us.
He is a lot better athlete and had a lot better career than I did, though. Just go ask the Northington boys from Trigg County. I'm still chasing them.
Still running out. Oh, well.
Sorry, Coach.
Well, we talk about the colleges, though, and, both of you guys have guys that are still playing in college and doing really well.
Oh, yeah.
Well, girls, not guys, but
all the girls that are playing college, even some of the club kids I've got to run into. I don't think I'm going to make it to Mobile to go watch Katie play any this weekend. That's a little out of my driving range, but yeah, it's always fun to go watch them. I went up to watch Shaden play on a Saturday game, and she came up. She said, "Okay, give me feedback." Oh no, I'm just up here to be a fan. I'm just up here to enjoy watching you play. Well, the third time she asked me, she said, "Okay, that's enough feedback."
Yeah.
So it's still fun to go watch somebody that you've got that much pride and now respect for as they go on to the next level and play.
Well, and not just going and playing, but playing pretty well.
Yeah.
Look at Jalen at Lindsey Wilson. I mean, we always knew that guy could play. Mm-hmm. He just had to be given a chance, and now that he's kind of gotten that chance,
and that's an eye test.
Yeah.
Where would he be if he was 6 inches taller and another 40 pound heavier back in the day?
Exactly.
Well, and, that's sometimes wish we could get Murray State involved. Western Kentucky's actually done a pretty good job of giving kids around here an opportunity to go play.
I will say that they have. Yes, they have. Granted, it's, they do the walk-on deal, but, yeah, you get an opportunity. And, you can look at walk-on stories all over the country in college athletics. And a couple years in, and, now the big thing is these kids are given a scholarship, or they earn a scholarship, and they have these big – like flash mob deals, and I love it. There's at practice, and the coach is just mulling through something, and like, hey,
by the way,
such and such just on full scholarship, and the whole crew goes crazy. Yeah. So, and that's just a testament to those kids, those athletes, whether it's women athlete, men, who work hard and get on a team and get a chance. Like you said with Jalen, he got a chance, and he got himself right, and he's playing really well right now.
Talking this morning with Waynee McGowan, Caldwell County football coach, and Daniel Cortner, Caldwell volleyball coach. Waynee, again, just looking ahead to next season, what kind of thoughts do you have on the team coming back, and I guess what are the goals looking ahead?
It's pretty much similar to this year. We definitely want to be competitive in this district, which is a really, really tough district. We want to win the district. We want to get in the playoffs, and just tell the kids, hey, we get in the playoffs, get hot, and make some noise, and you just never know how that ball is going to bounce. So, our goal is to end up in Lexington playing state championship, and we're going to continue to push that on them and expect that out of them. Schedule-wise, it just flip-flops sites, so we'll play everybody we played this year just at third place or our place, vice versa. So schedule is set, and there again, all those teams on that schedule, I'm sure they're going to be better. Mm-hmm. Some are going to lose more kids than others, just like we lost a big boatload of kids, but there again we were right in the thick of this thing, and so the long outlook or whatever, there again just to be able to put a good product on the field, put a good competitive team on the field, and be able to compete and win big ball games.
Is there any chance the football playoff format gets changed back? Because most people don't like it, and if you went back to what we were using before, I think we would have played Hancock County in the first round of the playoffs and then gone to Owensboro Catholic, and I think we would have matched up really well in both of those games. Yeah. You're going to run into a Mayfield eventually, but I think I like the old way better.
I know I most certainly do, and I'm probably, if you poll the state football coaches all across the state, you're probably going to get a very, very high response to go back to the old way. It's just so hard to beat anybody one time. Then you turn around a couple, 3 weeks later and try to face that same team. Because you've kind of, you kind of do things the first game to win that game because it's so important in where you're going to end up in the standings. I don't know, you really don't show, I guess you can say you show your hand, but you have to go compete and play and win that game. Because granted, you want to win the district first off. If not, be the second seed and get that home playoff game the way this thing's set up. So, I think that this format, I think we did it about 10 years ago, if you remember, with the Heath deal.
Yeah, I didn't like it then
we went
either.
down, we beat Heath a couple, 3 touchdowns, and, a couple, 3 weeks later, here we go. And, they beat us in the second round that year. I think we beat Webster the first round, I think maybe.
That sounds right.
And then Heath beat us in the second round. And And it's just so tough. It's just so tough to beat somebody like that twice.
Well, same thing happened to Trigg County. They beat Union County, and then here come the playoffs, and Union County takes them down.
Yeah, and I think there were several 2 seeds that got beat last Friday, I think. Us and Trigg, and I think a couple more we were talking about after the game Friday that 2 seeds went down. So,
Daniel, looking ahead for volleyball, what's the game plan for next year?
Pretty much just try to retool up a little bit and get stronger, get healthy first. Try to think along those lines. Do want to say it was an amazing season. Got to stand on the sideline and watch the region player of the year. Olivia Mitchell dominated the region whenever she had the chance. Pretty much struck fear in a lot of our opponents and would carry us for a while. With Mary Tays as her opposite coming back, got a couple good prospects at middle. Of course, Abby Griggs will be a senior this year. And can't say enough about the growth of Savannah Scott and Kennedy Thomas coming in. Looking at one of those maybe moving to right side to fill Savannah Tays' spot. So get Riley healthy for libero, and then Addison Sullinger stepped in that role halfway through the year, and just, my goodness, the way she played, had never played defense, and then took over libero, a week and a half, 2 weeks before the regional tournament is outstanding for her. But, Olivia was honored with the second region player of the year. That's Caldwell's, 7th, 8th out of 11?
8th, I think.
Maybe 8th out of 12 years they've been doing it.
7 different players, but 8 awards.
8 awards,
because Jesse Stone got it twice.
So, you look at Olivia winning as a junior, that puts a ton of pressure. And even more so, she was named first team All-State, so one of the top 16 players, vote getters in the state. So, there's several accolades, several, awards individually based off of how well this team played this fall. So, it puts a lot of pressure on this offseason to back up the big run that you had. So, really looking forward to 2020.
And you were the region coach of the year, so congratulations on that.
Thank you. That's the second. I was kind of talking to some folks up in Louisville. There was one year I really thought I had wrapped it up, and I didn't. The 2 years that I've won it, I thought I was about the second best in the region. So, you kind of sit back and look some years at it. But that's I got to stand around some pretty honorable people. Got to pass out some pretty cool awards while I was up there. There's a lot of 6'3" girls come walking through that line. I got to hand up and smile with. Yeah. So it's it is an honor. I don't know that I'll ever catch Coach Stone's 5, but
stay after it. It just takes a little time. That's all.
Right. Stay with it. It's going to take a long career.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming in today, and I thought both teams had great seasons. And again, we would all like to win one more game. There's a finality with that last loss that none of us likes, but. Right. Again, I think when you look back over the seasons, it was just fantastic years for both teams.
It is, and I think either one of us will sing praises of this community. We don't go anywhere. There's times I go out to eat, I don't buy my own supper. Mm-hmm. So there's thanks, Mom and Dad. But there's you go into businesses and everybody knows who you are. They know they've already quoted your stats from the week before, and they know some of them will give you advice on how to win how to win that weekend. So this community is amazing. You don't ever have to ask anything twice. So, I can't praise them enough, can't praise the radio station and you for the miles you put on, and congratulations on a new ride. Let's put miles on that one too. So
I hope it lasts as long as the last one did.
Right.
I think I was 2 months away from 20 years with my Pathfinder.
Ooh.
And it's
classic now.
Yeah.
Almost a classic. This one of those nice little license plates on there now.
I got my use out of it for sure.
Right.
Well, I appreciate you guys, and thanks for coming in, and we'll have you guys again sometime.
All right. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it.
That's Waynee McGowan, Caldwell County football coach, and Daniel Cortner, Caldwell County volleyball coach. That's going to wrap up the Sideline Report today. This is Todd Griffin. Thanks for listening to the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Serving Caldwell County since 1950. We're 1580, 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Carmen Roberts. The first public impeachment hearing shows Democrats and Republicans disagree on whether President Trump committed impeachable offenses. Chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Democrat Adam Schiff, on the first 2 witnesses.
I thought their testimony very powerful. Obviously, these are 2 very credible witnesses who speak from the heart and who have the greatest dedication not only to the United States, but the deepest care for Ukraine.
Republicans pushing to hear from one person who's not on the witness list.
I think what should happen is the whistleblower should testify. All we asked for today with our motion was to depose the whistleblower.
GOP Congressman Jim Jordan hearings continue Friday. And a federal appeals court in D.C. blocks President Trump's attempt to keep his financial records from Congress. The fight will likely end up in the Supreme Court. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Sunshine today, a high near 44, mostly cloudy overnight tonight, a low down to 26. Tomorrow, becoming sunny, a high 39 as those clouds start us out early in the morning. Clear tomorrow night, a low down to 22, and the weekend looking great. Saturday, sunny, a high 47. Sunday, partly sunny, a high near 50. Again for today, sunshine, a high 44.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Kay's Kitchen.
Why wait for Black Friday? Get Black Friday prices today at the Home Depot. Up to 40% off appliance special buys, plus up to $600 in extra savings instantly on select appliances. No rebate, no hassle. Like a Whirlpool white top mount refrigerator for just $548. Over $180 off. Talk about holiday cheer. Black Friday savings, early, now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only while supplies last. See store for details. Valid through December 5th.
You have a job to fill. You post your opening to dozens of online job sites and receive 600 resumes, which you barely have time to eyeball and settle on someone good on paper. In real life, they aren't. You train, retrain, correct, redo, admit defeat, start all over again. Robert Half is the better way to find top talent quickly. Robert Half interviews and custom matches applicants to your exact requirements. Satisfaction guaranteed. Robert Half, the experts in accounting, finance, IT, legal, marketing, and administrative staffing. Visit roberthalf.com.
Imagine this. It's late at night, it's cold and dark, and you have a flat tire. One never knows when old Betsy's going to cause you problems. There's only one place to call, Wallace Towing and Recovery in Princeton. Wallace Towing and Recovery is a 24/7 towing and recovery service. You can count on Wallace Towing and Recovery to get you safe and back on the road or to a repair shop. Wallace Towing and Recovery will jumpstart your vehicle, change a tire, deliver gas, unlock a door, or haul it to the garage or scrapyard. Wallace Towing and Recovery has you covered in Princeton and surrounding areas. Call Wallace Towing and Recovery. Check them out on Facebook, and when you need a tow or roadside help, call Wallace Towing and Recovery at 270-963-9081.
The Wild West